The bustling Terran colony on the distant planet Tyloth was a hub of thriving interspecies commerce. Towering alien spires stood alongside sleek human habitats, their disparate architectures a testament to the diversity that flourished within the settlement. Among the human residents was Mara, a widowed mother struggling to raise her young son alone. Mara had arrived on Tyloth 5 years ago, seeking a fresh start after the tragic loss of her husband in a mining accident. Though the transition to colonial life had been challenging, her unwavering determination and strong maternal bond with her son had helped them carve out a humble but content existence. Mara worked tirelessly as a mechanic, repairing the complex machinery that powered the colony's infrastructure, while her son, Aiden, attended the local school, making the most of the educational opportunities afforded to him. Little did they know, Aiden's inquisitive nature and boundless energy had caught the eye of a powerful alien crime lord named Xanthar. From his sprawling penthouse suite overlooking the bustling metropolis, Xanthar had observed the young human boy with a calculating gaze, recognizing the potential value in possessing such a unique asset. As the leader of a vast criminal syndicate that spanned multiple star systems, Xanthar had amassed considerable wealth and influence, but there was one thing he craved above all else: power. Xanthar had heard whispers of the Deathworlders, a term used to describe humans, whose homeworld was rumored to be a place of unforgiving challenges that had forged them into beings of extraordinary resilience and capability. The crime lord had never encountered a human in person, but the stories of their prowess had piqued his curiosity. And now, with Aiden in his sights, Xanthar saw an opportunity to not only expand his criminal empire, but to also gain a valuable bargaining chip against the human colonists. With a sinister grin, Xanthar summoned his most trusted bodyguards, a trio of hulking, cybernetically enhanced aliens known for their brutality and unwavering loyalty. Donning their sleek, armored exoskeletons, the bodyguards set out into the bustling streets of the colony, blending seamlessly into the crowds as they tracked their target. It was on a quiet evening, as Mara and Aiden strolled home from the marketplace, that the bodyguard struck. Emerging from the shadows, the aliens surrounded the unsuspecting pair, their glowing red eyes and menacing postures leaving no doubt as to their intentions. "The boy comes with us," the lead bodyguard growled, his deep, rumbling voice sending a chill down Mara's spine. "Do not interfere, and you will not be harmed." Mara's heart raced as she protectively pulled Aiden close, her mind scrambling to find a way out of this perilous situation. She knew she had to act quickly, for the sake of her beloved son. Glancing around, she desperately searched the dimly lit alley for any means of escape or defense, but the towering aliens had her and Aiden trapped. As the hulking alien bodyguards advanced, Mara's maternal instincts went into overdrive. She pulled Aiden closer, shielding him with her own body, and stared defiantly at the towering figures. "Please, you don't have to do this," Mara pleaded, her voice trembling with a mixture of fear and desperation. "He's just a child. He's done nothing wrong." The lead bodyguard, his cybernetic implants gleaming in the dim light, simply sneered. "Orders are orders, human. The boy is coming with us, whether you cooperate or not." Mara's mind raced, searching frantically for a way to save her son. She knew that these aliens, with their enhanced strength and advanced technology, would easily overpower her. But the thought of Aiden being taken, of never seeing him again, filled her with a primal, all-consuming dread. Suddenly, Mara's gaze fell upon a small, colorful object on the ground. Aiden's toy car, a simple but beloved possession. An idea began to form in her mind, a desperate gambit born of a mother's fierce love and determination. "Please," she pleaded once more, her voice steadying with resolve. "If you're going to take him, at least let me say goodbye." The lead bodyguard paused, his cold, calculating gaze studying Mara for a moment. Then, with a curt nod, he signaled to his companions to hold their position. Mara seized the opportunity, kneeling down and gathering Aiden into a tight embrace. She could feel his small body trembling, his eyes wide with fear, and her heart ached with the unfairness of it all. But in that moment, she knew she had to be strong. For him. "Aiden, my darling," she whispered, her fingers gently caressing his face. "I need you to be brave, okay? No matter what happens, I will always be with you, in here." She placed her hand over his heart, willing her love and strength to flow through the simple gesture. Aiden nodded, his lower lip quivering, and Mara knew that he understood. With a deep, steadying breath, she rose to her feet, her gaze fixed on the impatient bodyguards. "I'm ready," she said, her voice surprisingly calm. The lead bodyguard nodded, his cybernetic arm reaching out to seize Aiden. But in that instant, Mara's hand shot out, her fingers wrapping around the toy car on the ground. With a primal scream, she lifted the small vehicle over her head, her muscles bulging with raw power. The alien bodyguards, their cybernetically enhanced bodies designed for unparalleled strength, froze in stunned disbelief. They had never witnessed a human display such incredible feats of physical prowess, and the sheer unexpected nature of Mara's action left them momentarily paralyzed. Seizing the opportunity, Mara swung the toy car with all her might, slamming it into the lead bodyguard's chest. The impact was deafening, the alien's armored exoskeleton crumpling under the force of the blow. The bodyguard was sent reeling, his hulking form crashing into the alley wall with a bone-shattering thud. Mara didn't pause to savor her small victory. Scooping up Aiden in her arms, she turned and fled, her feet pounding against the pavement as she raced through the darkened streets, the stunned alien bodyguards regaining their senses and giving chase. Mara's heart pounded in her chest as she sprinted through the dimly lit alleyways of the Terran colony, her son Aiden clutched tightly in her arms. Behind her, the menacing footsteps of the alien bodyguards echoed, a constant reminder of the peril they faced. Mara had always considered herself to be of average strength, no more capable than any other human. But in that moment of pure maternal desperation, something primal had awakened within her, a wellspring of power she had never known she possessed. As she ran, Mara's mind raced, trying to make sense of what had just occurred. How had she been able to lift that toy car with such effortless ease, sending the hulking alien bodyguard crashing into the wall? It defied all logic, yet her muscles still tingled with the residual energy of that incredible feat. Aiden's frightened whimpers snapped Mara back to the present, and she tightened her grip on her son, determined to keep him safe at all costs. She knew they couldn't outrun the bodyguards forever, not with their enhanced speed and stamina. They needed to find a place to hide, to regroup and devise a plan. Suddenly, Mara caught sight of a small alcove between two towering buildings, its shadows offering a potential refuge. Without hesitation, she ducked inside, pressing her back against the wall and shielding Aiden with her body. The sound of the bodyguard's pursuit grew louder, their heavy footsteps echoing through the narrow alleyway. Mara held her breath, praying that the darkness would conceal them from their relentless pursuers. Moments later, the three aliens came into view, their cybernetic implants glowing faintly in the gloom. Mara watched in trepidation as they scanned the area, their predatory gazes searching for any sign of their prey. The lead bodyguard, his armor dented from Mara's previous attack, let out a frustrated growl. "The human female and the boy cannot have gone far," he rumbled, his deep voice laced with menace. "Spread out and find them. Xanthar will not be pleased if we fail." The other two bodyguards nodded in acknowledgement, and they split up, fanning out to calm the surrounding alleys. Mara held Aiden even tighter, her heart pounding in her ears as she willed the aliens to pass them by. Minutes felt like hours as the bodyguards searched, their heavy footsteps and grunts of frustration echoing all around. Mara dared not move, her muscles aching from the strain of remaining perfectly still. Suddenly, a glimmer of hope appeared in the form of a familiar face. Peering out from the shadows, Mara caught sight of a young human man, his eyes widening in recognition as he spotted her and Aiden. It was Dax, a fellow mechanic from the colony's repair depot, and Mara knew him to be a trusted ally. Dax quickly raised a finger to his lips, signaling for silence, and then gestured for Mara to follow him. Without hesitation, Mara emerged from the alcove, Aiden clinging to her hand, and the trio slipped deeper into the maze of alleyways, leaving the frustrated bodyguards behind. As they hurried through the winding passages, Mara couldn't help but wonder about the extraordinary strength she had displayed back in the alley. Was it simply a manifestation of her maternal instincts, or was there something more to the humans of this Deathworld colony? Whatever the answer, she knew that she and Aiden were now in grave danger, and they would need all the help they could get to escape the clutches of the alien crime lord and his ruthless enforcers. Mara followed Dax through the maze of dimly lit alleyways, her son Aiden's small hand clutched tightly in her own. The young mechanic moved with a purpose, his steps quick and sure, as if he had traversed these winding passages countless times before. As they hurried through the shadows, Mara couldn't help but glance anxiously over her shoulder, half expecting to see the hulking forms of the alien bodyguards in pursuit. The memory of her incredible feat of strength back in the alley still lingered, and she couldn't shake the feeling that she had somehow tapped into a well of power she never knew existed. Dax led them to a nondescript door, its surface worn and weathered, easily overlooked amidst the bustling commercial activity of the colony. With a quick series of knocks, the door slid open, and Mara and Aiden were ushered inside by a tall, muscular human male. "Quickly, get in," the man said in a gruff tone, his piercing gaze sweeping the alleyway before closing the door and sealing them inside. Mara found herself in a dimly lit room, its walls adorned with various mechanical parts and tools. A small group of humans, all with hardened expressions and muscular frames, turned to face the newcomers. "This is Mara and her son, Aiden," Dax announced, his voice low and serious. "They're in trouble with the Tyloth crime lord's goons." The room erupted in a flurry of hushed whispers and tense murmurs. Mara felt Aiden's grip tighten on her hand, and she instinctively pulled him closer, her protective maternal instincts on high alert. A woman, her face scared and weathered, stepped forward, her sharp eyes assessing Mara and Aiden with a keen, penetrating gaze. "What happened?" she asked, her tone brooking no room for evasion. Mara took a deep breath, gathering her composure, and quickly recounted the events in the alley. The ambush by the alien bodyguards, her desperate attempt to shield Aiden, and the unexpected surge of strength that had allowed her to send one of the hulking enforcers reeling. As she spoke, Mara noticed the expressions of the other humans shift, their initial wariness giving way to a growing sense of understanding, and perhaps even admiration. "A Deathworlder, eh?" the scared woman mused, a faint smile tugging at the corners of her lips. "Looks like you've got some hidden talents, Mara." Mara blinked, taken aback by the woman's casual use of the term. "Deathworlder? I don't understand." The woman raised a hand, silencing Mara's questions. "We'll explain it all later. Right now, we need to get you and your son to safety. Those alien thugs won't give up easily, and Xanthar's reach extends far beyond these colony walls." Mara felt a chill run down her spine at the mention of the crime lord's name. "You know Xanthar?" she asked, her voice tinged with both fear and desperation. The woman nodded solemnly. "Unfortunately, yes. He's been a thorn in our side for years, always looking for new ways to expand his criminal empire. And now it seems he's set his sights on you and your son." Mara's grip on Aiden's hand tightened as a wave of protectiveness washed over her. "What are we going to do?" she asked, her gaze pleading. The scared woman's expression hardened, her eyes glinting with a fierce determination. "We're going to fight back," she declared, turning to address the others in the room. "This Deathworlder mother has shown us what she's capable of. If Xanthar wants a war, then that's exactly what he's going to get." The room erupted in a chorus of cheers and battle cries, the humans' faces alight with a newfound sense of purpose. Mara felt a surge of hope, but also a growing sense of trepidation. What had she and Aiden stumbled into, and were they truly prepared to take on the might of an intergalactic crime lord and his ruthless enforcers? News of Mara's extraordinary feat of strength against the alien bodyguards spread through the Terran colony like wildfire. Whispers of her incredible display and the apparent superhuman abilities of humans quickly reached the ears of the crime lord Xanthar. Sitting in his luxurious penthouse suite, Xanthar's eyes narrowed as his trusted lieutenant relayed the details of the failed abduction attempt. The hulking alien bodyguard, usually the embodiment of brute force and unwavering loyalty, had been effortlessly dispatched by a lone human female. "A Deathworlder," Xanthar murmured, his fingers drumming thoughtfully against the arm of his chair. "I had heard the rumors, but to witness such power firsthand." He trailed off, his calculating gaze fixed on the flickering holographic display before him. The crime lord had long been fascinated by the humans and their alleged abilities. Tales of their resilience, adaptability, and sheer physical prowess had piqued his interest, and he had secretly been gathering intelligence on the Terran colony for years. But this latest incident had taken him by surprise, shattering any preconceptions he may have had about the fragility of the human form. Xanthar knew he could not afford to underestimate this Deathworlder mother, not if he wanted to secure his prize. The boy, Aiden. The child's potential value, both as a bargaining chip and as a possible asset to his criminal empire, was immeasurable. And now, with this unexpected development, Xanthar realized he would need to employ his most ruthless and skilled enforcers to ensure the success of his plan. With a few taps on his console, the crime lord summoned his elite team of bodyguards, a hand-picked group of cybernetically enhanced aliens known for their unwavering loyalty and unparalleled combat abilities. Xanthar briefed them on the situation, outlining the human female's remarkable strength and the need to capture both her and the boy without inflicting any permanent harm. "Bring them to me alive," Xanthar commanded, his voice cold and unyielding. "I want to study this Deathworlder phenomenon for myself." "And the boy?" He paused, a sinister grin spreading across his face. "The boy will be a most valuable addition to my organization." The bodyguards, their glowing red eyes betraying no emotion, nodded in acknowledgement and swiftly departed, their footsteps echoing through the opulent halls of Xanthar's penthouse. Meanwhile, Mara and Aiden found themselves in the care of the human resistance fighters, hidden away in their makeshift safe house, deep within the colony's intricate network of alleyways. The scared woman, whose name Mara had learned was Aya, had been quick to explain the significance of the Deathworlder moniker. "Humans like you, Mara, are revered and feared throughout the galaxy," Aya had told her, her weathered features etched with a mixture of pride and concern. "Our home planet, Earth, is known as a death world, a place of unrelenting challenges and dangers that have forged us into beings of extraordinary resilience and capability." Mara listened, her mind whirling with the implications of Aya's words. "And Xanthar, the crime lord, he wants to capture Aiden because of this?" she asked, her grip tightening protectively around her son. Aya nodded solemnly. "Yes, Xanthar has heard the stories, and he sees the potential in harnessing the abilities of a human child, especially one with a mother like you." Mara's heart sank, the gravity of their situation weighing heavily upon her. "Then we have to get out of here, to get as far away from Xanthar as possible," she said, her voice tinged with desperation. Aya's expression hardened. "I'm afraid that's no longer an option," she said, her gaze meeting Mara's with unwavering resolve. "Xanthar's reach extends far beyond this colony, and his enforcers will stop at nothing to find you. No, the only way to keep you and Aiden safe is to stand and fight." Mara felt a surge of fear, but also a growing determination. If these people, this resistance, were willing to risk everything to protect her and her son, then she knew she had to do the same. Steeling her nerves, she nodded, her eyes burning with a newfound resolve. "Then let's give Xanthar and his thugs a fight they'll never forget. With the news of Mara's extraordinary display of strength spreading like wildfire through the Terran colony, the human resistance fighters knew they had to act quickly to protect her and her son Aiden from the relentless pursuit of the alien crime Lord Xanthar and his elite bodyguards. Aya, the scared and weathered leader of the resistance group, quickly ushered Mara and Aiden deeper into the winding maze of alleyways, their footsteps echoing against the shadowed walls. Mara could feel the fear and uncertainty coiling in the pit of her stomach, but she forced herself to push onward, her protective instincts as a mother fueling her determination. As they navigated the labyrinthine passages, Aya explained the nature of the Deathworlders, a term used to describe the remarkable resilience and capabilities of the human species, forged by the unforgiving challenges of their home planet, Earth. On our homeworld, the very air we breathe, the ground we walk, and the creatures that share our space all seek to destroy us, Aya said, her voice tinged with a mix of pride and sorrow. But we have endured, and in doing so, we have evolved into beings of incredible strength, speed, and adaptability. Mara listened, her mind reeling as she tried to reconcile this revelation with her own self-perception. But how is that possible? She asked, her gaze darting nervously between Aya and the shadows around them. I'm just a mechanic, a single mother trying to get by. I'm not some superhuman warrior. Aya's lips curled into a wry smile. That's where you're wrong, Mara. The potential for greatness lies within all of us, but it often takes the most dire of circumstances to awaken it. As they turned a sharp corner, Mara caught sight of a small group of humans, their bodies toned, and their expressions hardened by years of struggle. They greeted Aya with a nod, their eyes narrowing as they took in the sight of Mara and Aiden. These are some of our most trusted allies, Aya said, gesturing to the group. They've all honed their abilities, just as you have, to levels that far surpass the average human. Mara felt a sense of trepidation, but also a glimmer of hope. Perhaps with the aid of these fellow Deathworlders, she and Aiden might have a chance of escaping Xanthar's clutches. As if reading her thoughts, Aya placed a reassuring hand on Mara's shoulder. We won't let Xanthar or his goons get their hands on you or your son. You have our word. The group of resistance fighters nodded in unison, their faces set with a determined resolve. Mara felt a surge of gratitude, but also a growing sense of responsibility. If these people were willing to risk everything to protect her and Aiden, then she knew she had to find the strength within herself to do the same. What do we do now? Mara asked, her voice steady despite the turmoil churning within her. Aya's expression hardened. We prepare for the fight of our lives. Xanthar's enforcers will be coming, and we need to be ready. With that, the group sprung into action, each member assuming a specific task as they transformed the hidden safe house into a veritable fortress. Mara watched in awe as the humans, once seemingly ordinary, moved with a level of coordination and efficiency that belied their true nature as Deathworlders. As the preparations unfolded around her, Mara felt a strange sense of calm wash over her. She knew the battle ahead would be fierce, but with these remarkable individuals at her side, she couldn't help but feel a growing confidence in their ability to triumph. Glancing down at Aiden, who clung to her side with a mixture of fear and wonder, Mara made a silent vow. No matter what happened, she would protect her son, even if it meant tapping into the very depths of her own extraordinary capabilities as a human Deathworlder. The hidden safe house buzzed with a palpable energy as the human resistance fighters prepared for the inevitable confrontation with Xanthar's elite bodyguards. Mara watched in awe as her newfound allies moved with a level of coordination and efficiency that belied their ordinary human appearances. Aya, the scared and resolute leader of the group, oversaw the final preparations, her keen eyes scanning the makeshift defenses with an experienced gaze. Mara stood by her side, Aiden clinging tightly to her hand, as she listened intently to the plan of action. Xanthar's enforcers will be here soon, Aya said, her voice carrying a weighted gravity. They're well-trained, heavily armed, and enhanced with the latest cybernetic technologies. But we have something they don't: the indomitable spirit of the Deathworlder. Mara felt a surge of pride and determination at Aya's words, but the tremor in her son's hand reminded her of the very real dangers they faced. "How can we possibly stand against such formidable opponents?" she asked, her brow furrowed with concern. Aya's lips curled into a confident smile. "By embracing our true nature, Mara, we may be human, but we are so much more than that. Our bodies, our minds, our very beings have been forged by the unforgiving crucible of our homeworld. We are strong, we are resilient, and we are unbreakable." As if on cue, a thunderous commotion echoed from the alleyway outside. The sound of heavy footsteps and the faint hum of advanced technology signaling the arrival of Xanthar's enforcers. Mara felt Aiden's grip tighten, and she pulled him close, her protective instincts raging. "Stay here with the others," she whispered, her voice firm but laced with a mother's tenderness. "I won't let them take you. I promise." Aiden nodded, his eyes wide with fear, but also a glimmer of trust. Mara squeezed his hand one last time before joining Aya and the other resistance fighters at the makeshift barricade, her muscles coiled and ready for the impending confrontation. The alien bodyguards burst into the safe house, their cybernetic implants gleaming in the dim light. Mara recognized the lead enforcer, the same hulking figure she had sent reeling with a single swing of the toy car, and she felt a surge of primal rage. Without warning, the bodyguards opened fire, their advanced weaponry cutting through the air with a deafening barrage. But the human resistance fighters were ready, their movements lightning fast as they dodged the deadly projectiles and launched their own counterattack. Mara watched in awe as her newfound allies unleashed their incredible abilities, their strength, speed, and agility far exceeding the norms of the human body. They fought with a ferocity that defied all logic, their fists and feet becoming blurs of motion as they overwhelmed the bewildered alien enforcers. At the heart of the melee, Mara felt a familiar rush of adrenaline coursing through her veins. Remembering the power she had tapped into back in the alley, she surged forward, her muscles bulging as she gripped the nearest piece of debris, a heavy metal pipe, and swung it with all her might. The impact was thunderous, the pipe colliding with the chest of an unsuspecting bodyguard and sending him crashing to the ground. Mara's eyes widened in disbelief, her own strength surprising even herself, but she didn't have time to dwell on it. Emboldened by her success, she rejoined the fight, her maternal instincts fueling her every move. As the battle raged on, Mara and the human resistance fighters slowly but surely gained the upper hand, their superior adaptability and sheer determination overwhelming the bewildered alien enforcers. Xanthar's prized bodyguards, once thought to be unbeatable, were now reeling, their advanced technology and brute force proving no match for the indomitable spirit of the Deathworlders. The once formidable alien bodyguards, dispatched by the crime lord Xanthar to capture Mara and her son Aiden, now found themselves outmatched and reeling against the relentless onslaught of the human resistance fighters. Mara, her maternal instincts fueling her every move, fought with a ferocity that belied her ordinary appearance, her newfound strength and agility stunning even her own allies. As the battle raged on, the shadowy safe house echoed with the sounds of shattering concrete, the whine of advanced cybernetic implants, and the grunts of exertion from both human and alien combatants. Mara, her muscles training, delivered blow after blow, each impact sending the hulking bodyguards reeling in disbelief. Aya, the scared leader of the resistance, fought alongside Mara, her movements a blur of motion as she expertly maneuvered between the enemy's attacks. Mara marveled at the older woman's prowess, her speed and precision honed to a razor's edge by a lifetime of hardship and struggle on their Deathworld home. Amidst the chaos, Mara caught a glimpse of Aiden, sheltered safely behind a makeshift barrier with the other human civilians. Her son's eyes were wide with a mix of fear and awe, and Mara knew she had to ensure his safety at all costs. Redoubling her efforts, Mara unleashed a flurry of strikes, each one more powerful than the last. The alien bodyguards, their advanced technology and training failing to keep pace, were slowly but surely overwhelmed by the sheer tenacity and adaptability of the human Deathworlders. As the last of the enforcers collapsed, defeated and broken, a hush fell over the safe house. Mara stood, her chest heaving, her gaze fixed on the crumpled forms of their vanquished foes. The other resistance fighters gathered around, their expressions a mix of triumph and disbelief. Aya approached Mara, a rare smile playing at the corners of her lips. "You've proven yourself, Mara," she said, her voice laced with a newfound respect. "The Deathworlder spirit burns brightly within you." Mara felt a surge of pride, but also a lingering sense of trepidation. "What happens now?" she asked, her gaze drifting back to Aiden, who was being comforted by the other civilians. Aya's expression darkened. "Now we prepare for Xanthar's retaliation. He will not take this defeat lightly, and he has the resources to bring the full might of his criminal empire down upon us." Mara's heart sank, but she steeled her resolve. "Then we'll be ready," she said, her voice firm. "I won't let that monster take my son, not after what we've been through." Aya nodded, her weathered features etched with a mixture of pride and concern. "We'll need to move quickly then. Xanthar's elite enforcers were only the beginning. The real battle is yet to come." As the resistance fighters began to make preparations for their next confrontation, Mara made her way to Aiden, enveloping him in a fierce embrace. Her son clung to her, his small body trembling, and Mara swore to herself that she would do whatever it took to keep him safe. In the shadows, the defeated alien bodyguard's cybernetic implants flickered with a faint glow, their damaged systems sending a distress signal to their master. Xanthar, his cold eyes narrowed with fury, watched the transmission with growing dismay. "Impossible," he hissed, his clawed fingers clenching the armrest of his chair. "These Deathworlders will pay for their defiance. No one denies Xanthar what he desires." With a few terse commands, the crime lord summoned his most formidable enforcers, his sinister plans for the Terran colony and its extraordinary human residents now set in motion. The battle lines had been drawn, and Xanthar was determined to emerge victorious, no matter the cost.